You're in round 1. I'm going to play first. No green mana. Which does make this hand a bit more questionable, doesn't it? 2 green spells. Our first play would be Shrieker, but we'd be able to use its ability. I think we're going to keep. Most of our deck is black. We can hope to rip a green mana. Nice. So now we still get to go turn 3 Shrieker and get to go turn 4 Summoner as well as give, ooh, well that's pretty spicy. Setting up for a nice Swarm Surge here. No play? Nice. Go actually play. Well, I guess we want the extra damage. Now I'll play the Summoner, because Swarm Surge I think is going to do a number on my opponent next turn. Probably just lethal with this, right? Yeah, I think it is. Or at least close. I shouldn't have tapped out. Could have been able to use Vampiric Rites off an Eldrazi Scion, but that's alright. Most likely just using Swarm Surge next turn. Oh, bummer. So I would have been able to sack one had I left open a black mana. Alright. Bummer, bro. You got me. Ooh, Sky Scour is good. So, I guess end of his turn we'll sack the Blister Pod. Ooh. Lead by example, huh? Alright. Well, guess we get to swing with both. Well, let me think about this. So I play Swarm Surge, pump here. I can't do Swarm Surge plus Lead by Example plus Vampiric Rites without sacking my Scion. But he only has 2 mana open. It's probably fairly safe to do it here. It does push through a decent amount of damage. Otherwise, I can just attack with Summoner and Scourer. And if he blocks Summoner, I can pump it. If he double blocks it, I still can pump and kill both his guys. But then again, if I Swarm Surge and then he blocks, I can pump past it anyway. But then I can't get that extra damage through. But I can get some damage through with Scion. This is a little bit tricky. I feel like it's a reasonable opportunity to push some damage through. But like I said, I can't Swarm Surge, Lead by Example, and use Vampiric Rites without sacking the Scion. But I may just want to do it anyway. That's good news for us. All right. Yeah, it worked pretty well. And we can still use Vampiric Rites, but like I said, it costs us a Scion. Might have to, I mean, it probably doesn't matter. Meaning it's probably fine. Stone Fury. So I can sack the Scion to sack. Yeah, I think it's actually worth it. Well, is it? So if I let this resolve, on my turn I can sack the Scion, but why is that better? I don't think it's better. It just uses up mana on my turn, so we'll do it now. That was a good draw. It's got to have 2 blockers here. All right. So we're playing against Green-Red, Boulder Salvo, Rolling Thunder, Commando, Stone Fury. He's got some good... All of his cards he played are good. In fact, I don't see one weak card from what he played. They all look good. So I think we just got a nice jump on him there. We don't have too much of a sideboard plan. We can bring in the Unnatural Endurances now. Tar Snare also deals with pretty much every creature we saw out of him. But I did like Lead by Example there. And I liked Swarm Surge. How good is Punishment going to be against him? You know, Punishment's kind of a nombo with Visions of Brutality. I didn't think about that. Unnatural Endurance doesn't actually work that well against Sada's Commando. Works well against removal spells, though. 1 mana way to protect your creature. From, like, his Rolling Thunder or his Stone Fury. 1 mana to protect you from a 5 mana removal spell is pretty nice. I might just cut the Punishment for an Unnatural Endurance. Cut down on the curve, get a little bit more aggressive. All right. Yeah, it's a great hand. Got ourselves a curve. Don't have colorless mana yet, but all in good time. Hmm. So I could block the Zada's Commando if he didn't have a combat trick. Stalking drone. Hmm. Alright. Guess we just play this and pass. Hmm. So I can attack with Slaughter Drone. Kill both of his guys if he blocks. It's probably worth it. I mean, it's a telegraph, and there's stuff for it, but problem is I'm not doing anything else. Like, doesn't Visions kind of seem like a waste on this board? Alright, well, looks like you didn't have anything. Alright. Bummer, but got nothing. Still desperately hunting for a third mana here. Here we go. Alright. So now I can Shrieker and set up for a Swarm Surge. It's probably what I want to do. Or set up for a Saddleback Lagac. So we can double pump a Hunter, I guess. But I can Visions that at some point. My opponent's at 20? That's not good. I mean, I guess I can also Oblivion Strike something at some point. Attacking with both. I think I'm actually going to double block this. No, it seems crazy, but he's at 20. And I get stuff out of it, so it just feels worth it. Like, him using removal spells on Blister Pod just seems awful for him anyway. So I trade half of a Blister Pod for a Zada's Commando. It's a good trade in my book. I guess technically I can cast Oblivion Strike and Saddleback Lagac now too. But I'd probably just end up Visions of Brutality or Oblivion Striking if I get... Well, maybe Oblivion Strike if I need to. Oh, bummer. think we'll just get another creature out there. It's got one card left in hand. If I Visions of Brutality, the Relentless Hunter, I'm pretty sure I can beat it in a race too. I mean, he does have to invest mana into it. We have Oblivion Strike in a pinch, if I have to. Loam Larva. A little bit less happy about Oblivion Strike on that one. Ooh. Translator's not bad. Not sure if I want to sack my recently pumped Scion for it though. Well, I think we just Oblivion Strike this guy and pass. I mean, unfortunately, that guy's enough of a problem where I don't really want a Visions of Brutality hit because he's currently winning the race. Sludge Crawler's a good draw. Okay. So I think I'm actually just going to Translator here, because then I can get 3 pumps out of Sludge Crawler. Sets up for a better Swarm Surge too. And with Visions. Seems pretty good. If I'd attacked with the Sludge Crawler, he could have traded it off for his Flame Seeker, which I think he probably would have done. There's a chance he wouldn't have, but I think he would have. Okay. So let's see here. I can pump 3 times. I can Visions the Flame Seeker, swing with the Sludge Crawler, and get in for 3. I'm just not going to be able to get past the stupid Loam Larva, I think. I don't really want to trade a Sludge Crawler for a Flame Seeker either. I guess the question is really, would I prefer to trade a Sludge Crawler for a Flame Seeker or a Visions of Brutality for a Flame Seeker? I think the answer is I'd rather trade a Visions of Brutality because this is going to get better in the late game, especially with the Swarm Surge. So I think we just Visions this. I think we're just going to have to make this trade too. Well, get a free runner off the top of his deck's not bad. Vile Aggregate's pretty good. So I guess technically I can still kill Vile Aggregate at the cost of my Scion. I don't have to attack with the Scion, but I don't really care if he attacks with that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Yeah, it's a good trade for us. 2-2 for a Vile Aggregate. He can still attack with the Flameseeker, too. I mean, it's not wise unless he has another draw, but this triggers, so he still technically kills me before I kill him. I think he screwed that up. He screwed up Niss's Judgment, it looks like, and then conceded. So you have to click your support and then click the creature you want to target with it. That's just weird, actually. I wonder what we were going to draw. I'm kind of curious. So we're going to go land, into Unnatural Endurance, into Summoner. So we had 4 more turns before we were going to get anything, which means our opponent would have definitely killed us had they played, right? Or not definitely, but almost assuredly. They would have dealt 12 damage to us. It would have been 4 damage, 4 damage, 4 damage, draw a Summoner. So I guess we wouldn't have died. And then what would we have drawn the next turn? A Hissing Quagmire with a Swarm Surge up. So he would have been at 1, and we would have been at 1. That's assuming my opponent would have attacked. We still could have actually walked away from a victory there. Actually, no, that's not right, because the Judgment makes it... No, it would have dealt damage to my Sludge Crawler. So he would have taken 4 points of damage. He would have gone to 9. He would have killed my Sludge Crawler. So he probably wouldn't have attacked, but like I said, it seems actually a little bit slim like we would have won, though, just because we were drawing blanks for 3 turns while our opponent had 3 turns where they could have drawn something. And Scion Summoner's not that game-changing, so I guess we're pretty lucky to get the victory there. All right, we'll see you in round 2.